Well, first, before I talk about the recent research, I want to give you some information about what far infrared is. Now, how many people already have a sauna? And how many people have the Relax Sauna? Okay, very good. I've been at this expo at the ANMA for about the last 14, 15 years. And I've been presenting the Relax Sauna and introducing a very unique form of far infrared energy. Now, far infrared energy is, there's a book called Detoxify or Die by Dr. Sherry Rogers, and she spawned an industry. She's an environmental doctor, and way back in the 1990s, people would come to her and say, I've got multi-chemical sensitivities, I'm really sick, the medical establishment has given up on me, and other environmentally challenged people came up to her as well. And in the 1990s, in the late 1990s, she used far infrared saunas, which she called the superior sauna, distinct from the regular saunas. And she used them to get people back to being healthy and vital and alive. So they're taping this, David, officially, by the way. Okay. So at any rate, and my name is Philip Wilson, and I live in Las Vegas now, and for the last 21 years, I've been promoting and using the Relax Far Infrared Sauna and educating people about the marvelous effects of far infrared technology, and especially the 7 to 14 micron range, and educating people that we are ourselves far infrared light beings. Water is a far infrared molecule. And I don't know how many health professionals know or do not know that water is a far infrared light molecule, that it shines a certain vibration rate. Pythagoras, the great founder of modern mathematics, pointed out that everything vibrates, everything is frequency. Tesla, Edison, Jacob Lieberman, we all say that the medicine of the future is frequency and light. Light and invisible light and invisible sound and visible light as well. I opened up a health food store in 1980 and a health food distributing company selling to health professionals and selling to health food stores products such as in the early 80s. In 1984, I was selling green powders. I was selling medicinal mushrooms in 1980, Chinese herbs in 84, essential oils in 86, and oxygen products in 88, which is a forerunner of MMS. So I've been a pioneer. I had an out-of-body experience in 1970, which unbeknownst to me opened me up to a whole new realm. Before that I was a mathematician. I have an honors degree in mathematics at Indiana University in 1970. I had a 4-year fellowship at Ohio State University to pursue a PhD in mathematics, but because of the out-of-body experience and because of the Kundalini awakening experience, which energetically electrified my whole body and transformed every cell of my body into something that it wasn't, or something that it became greater and cleansed it, so I had trouble eating anything without going into a feeling I was on Thorazine at a mental institution, because I ate meat, I ate eggs, I couldn't eat anything, and I would have to meditate for 8-9 hours. So I had to pretty much go on a date and fig and cashew diet for about 9 months, is 80% of my diet. So it was, and I was doing these meditation exercises and yoga for about 6 hours every morning. I was having the time of my life. Maybe some people thought I was a little odd at the time and a little weird, but if you know anything about astrology, I do have an Aquarius rising and an Aquarius moon, so I appear to be a little strange and eccentric, and that's always been the way I come across to the world. I came into this world in 1948, and unbeknownst to me, I did have a mission here, and I am writing a book. It's in the process. It should come out this year. It's called Pictures of the Mind, and the subtitle is Freeing Yourself from Beliefs that No Longer Serve You. Now, in this world right now, especially in the last 3-4 years, there's been, oh my God, what in the world is going on? And I've been into holistic health since 1971, and I got into fasting. My body was very, very sensitive, and I could eat something and I could tell what it was doing. And I could not eat refined sugar, I could not eat refined carbohydrates, and I was pretty much a follower of the Dr. John Christopher diet, which is simply whole foods. You know, basically the whole food in its entirety. And that's, you know, no preservatives, you know, no refined products, no junk, no chemicals, no whatever they put, hormones or anything like that. And so I've been a strong adherent. I opened up a health food store in 1980, like I said, and the purpose of the health food store was an alternative to both pharmaceutical drugs and street drugs. So you could experience that upliftment, the upliftment that everyone wanting to go into street drugs. You could do all this stuff naturally, and the pharmaceutical drugs that people were taking. When you watch the TV, it used to be when I was growing up, you couldn't have those advertisements for pharmaceutical drugs on TV, and for good reason. And I don't know why right now you can, but you can. And when you listen to all the side effects, oh my God. And so I don't like side effects, so therefore I got into the natural route, got into fasting, and opened up a health food store and been promoting superfoods, spirulina, chlorella, green foods, Chinese herbal combinations, Ayurvedic medicine, and all sorts of kind of tonics like shilajit, fulvic acid, humic acid, Chinese herbs, all sorts of unique products that will give you that clarity of mind and tune you into the present moment. And when I was meditating in 1997, about 27 years ago, they whispered to me, momentum, taking advantage of the moment, propelling yourself into greatness. And so when you take advantage of the moment, that's living in the moment and listening. So basically it's saying, if you listen to inner guidance, and there's a wave coming, and because you're listening, that way you get in front of the wave, and the wave will propel you into greatness. And so that's part of my mission, is to be aware of the pictures you're looking at. I know in conversations with God, it mentions you can never have what you want, and that sounds sort of strange. But if you think about it, because if you're wanting something, you're usually picturing yourself not having it. And therefore that's what you get. So basically the antidote to that would simply to be grateful for having what you think you maybe don't already have. So you go into the future and you're grateful for it, and then because of that attitude you have that you take, pretty soon before you know it, you're walking into the picture of yourself having the puppy licking you instead of being in a cage across the street in a pet store. So far infrared energy. I was selling massage tools to health food stores and doing a lot of expos starting 1981. I've been probably at about 700-800 expos and conferences promoting health products since 1981, and actually since 1975. In 2002, I started promoting, or in 2001, I promoted a far infrared sauna, or an infrared sauna, like an Amazon sauna that I went to. It was in Las Vegas when I discovered it. I was at the Biological Dentist Show in September of 2001 or 2000, and the next day there was a spa show. So I went to the spa show, and one of my massage tool suppliers had a portable sauna. I said, oh my gosh, I cannot believe you can have a sauna in your home. I mean, to me, this is heaven. You know, when I was 16, 17, I experienced saunas for the first time. Oh my gosh, nothing felt better than sweating in a sauna. I guess just the invigoration of these toxins coming out of your body and just the cleansing of every cell just felt so great. So basically, those are my Baroque days, you know, like before the classical period is the Baroque period. Those are my Baroque days, B-R-O-K-E. So it took me a year to be able to afford to buy one from that company, and I bought one and I used it, and I would get in the sauna, and it took so long to preheat. So I would take the chair out and sit on the floor, and it would take me 18 minutes to start sweating. And after about 55 minutes, I felt I had a great sweat. And I loved it. I used it for a year. I used it, 2, 3, 4 days a week. And then I get a call from Taiwan a year later in 2002, October, and they said, hey, we saw your website. You went on and on and on and on. We were impressed talking about this other sauna, and we wanted to introduce you to the Relax Far Infrared Sauna, where we use semiconductor chips, and they give you the exact frequency of light that's the same as the water in your body and the human body. And this advanced technology has made our sauna very, very good, and we want you to sell our sauna. And I said, okay, how much is it? And they told me, and it turned out to be less than what I was paying wholesale for the other. And they sent it to me, and it came 2 days later. And everyone at my store, you're talking about 10 people, and in my office, they said, oh my gosh, this is a night and day difference. Wow. So, even then, it took me about 10, 15 years to realize that the Relax Sauna was so special and so very, very different and special than any other sauna. But, and anyway, after promoting saunas for a long time at conferences, like I've done about 400 medical conferences right now, promoting the Relax Sauna, and people have been getting in. I've put 150,000 people in the Relax Sauna, and I've seen 20 to 30,000 minor or major miracles in this time period. And at the last talk, I did not talk about a lot of the testimonials and the people, but so I'll get into that here to inspire you. But I also want to, promote, tell you about the latest research and make sure you understand what far infrared energy is. So we're talking about frequency medicine. Frequency medicine is you all heard of a Rife machine that sends off certain frequencies. If you hit the right exact frequency of the disease frequency, it will counteract it and it will dissipate it. And then you have PEMF, you have microcurrent technology, you have near infrared, you have red light therapy, you have ozone therapy, you have hyperbaric oxygen. There's a lot of energy medicine techniques, and a lot of contraptions are wonderful technologies. I was at the EE centers that opened up in Summerlin a couple days ago, and they use the Relax Sauna after people do their systems of scalar energy, and then they get in the Relax Sauna. And we were at a conference, and there was a microcurrent technology booth down the aisle, and the lady got in the sauna and said, oh my God, and she brought her partner over. The partner went in, and she had cancer 4 years before, and she said, oh my gosh, I can feel all my systems in the body are starting to rebuild each other, and this is what we need to complete our microcurrent technology. So even like an athletic trainer who trains his coach and trains his baseball player, his football player, his athlete, and gets him to as best as he can do. Then if they introduce the Relax Sauna 7 minutes before a workout, 20 minutes after a workout, whether you're a marathon runner and oh my gosh, you're going to improve performance. We were at an athletic show. They had a jumping machine, and you jump and you jump and you jump, and they measured how far you high, how far you can jump. Then they go into Relax Sauna for 7 minutes, and they did about 10 people, and everyone jumped between 1 and 3 to 5 inches higher. So if this is true, and you're a basketball player and you're not using the Relax Sauna, something's not right. So it's really an educational situation. It's learning to educate the people. And when I go to these conferences of the doctors, and like we have a book at our booth, we're in the corner, the last two booths in the corner, and we've got 4 saunas there for you to try, and a number of you have already tried it. But when you go in, it's special. It's very special. And that's why when I talk about the magic of 7 to 14 micron frequency. Now, Dr. Toshika Yamasaki wrote a book in Japan called The Science of Far Infrared Therapy. And she said water molecules cluster, and they trap or encapsulated gases, poisonous gases, sulfur dioxide, carbon dioxide, and the toxic minerals, mercury, lead, aluminum, arsenic, etc., all trapped by the water clusters. She says, but upon application of 7 to 14 micron frequency, that gets the water molecule to vibrate. And when the water molecules vibrate, that causes the weakening of the ionic bonds between the hydrogen and the oxygen, and that releases the water clusters and unclusters the water molecule and releases the encapsulated poisonous gases to be released from the body and to go out through the elimination systems. Now, Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, made a very, very profound statement. He said, find me a way to create fever, and I will cure disease. That's profound. Now, they have a hospital in Germany called St. George Hospital. They get your temperature up to 104, 105, and it kills everything, the parasites and everything. And then they have specific equipment that prevents the body to get up to 107, 108 because you don't want to kill the body. That defeats the whole purpose. So, and that's hyperthermia. Now, Dr. Paul Anderson, who's a cancer doctor, had a clinic up in Washington State. He used to teach at Bastyr Naturopathic College for 25 years and now gives seminars on the advanced applications of medical practices. And he bought 4 saunas from us for his clinic, and he sent us a video saying he can get the temperature up to 101.5, 101.9 every time. Every time. His assistant said they increase the body temperature 4.2 degrees, and they actually, while they're doing IV therapy, IV vitamin C therapy, and they put them in the sauna, and their hand sticks out, and they have the IV connected to the hand, and they do for an hour, and they increase body temperature 4.2 degrees. But he can increase body temperature, pretty much 3.2 degrees all the time, in general. And this is something, now, not just increasing body temperature, but according to a study that this guy presented in 2017 on Reddit.com, he saw the research on the wooden infrared saunas and said, oh my God, this is incredible. And there's these saunas selling on Amazon for $200, $250. Oh my God, I'm going to get one. And he tested it. He tested the temperature in it for 25 minutes. He tested the body temperature. He tested the heart rate variability. And it raised body temperature a full 0.5 degree. That's all. And heart rate variability didn't change whatsoever. Well, that's not what the research says. So, and again, a lot of the companies on Amazon or even other companies selling the wooden infrared saunas will say, far infrared saunas will do this according to the research, and here's our far infrared sauna. But there's no research on their particular sauna at all. And this has always puzzled me, and we never had research on the Relax Sauna either until recently. So we know that far infrared between 2 and 50 micron does this, but what percentage of this actually resonates with the water molecules? Now, as I said, the water is a molecule that has a frequency of 8 microns. The human body, mammals and birds, we all vibrate at 9.4 microns because, according to George Pollack, who wrote the book, Gerald Pollack, who wrote the book Fourth Phase of Water, and there's a certain kind of phase which is a gel-like substance between ice and water that is totally pure and nothing can dissolve in it, that far infrared light actually increases the exclusion zone water, and that's a special kind of water which the more you have, the better off you are. Now he says that they have not been able to get more than 5 micron of far infrared rated tested because it's very, very expensive, and that's what a lot of people don't realize. That it's like Angela Drake she's a detox specialist in Las Vegas, and she came to us about 3 years ago and said, I have the best portable sauna out there. It sells for $1,200. It's great. And I said, have you ever heard of the Relax Sauna? And she didn't, but I finally convinced her to get in the Relax Sauna, saying it was special. And when she did, she was convinced. that it was better. She actually gave her $1,200 portable sauna away because the Relax Sauna, as she said a year ago when I interviewed her, when I delivered another sauna to her, she says, all saunas are not alike. They're all different. It's just like all B supplements are not alike. They all have different doses and different, substances they make the B vitamins out, and some have B3 and B12 and so much and whatever. And so she gave away her higher dose blanket. She said, the Relax Sauna revitalizes me, and the other saunas drained me. So she gave them away. So, we have 900 video testimonies, interviews. I interview people after they've been in the sauna for 8 minutes, and they say, gee, I got a flu shot 13 years ago, and I've had shooting pain in my feet for 13 years, and in 7 minutes it's gone. For the first time in 13 years. We, about a year ago, we put 2 vaccine-injured nurses one had not had any feeling in her fingers, and the other one had not felt the circulation in her leg at all between her feet and her hip for 2.25 years. And they both cried, and they both got saunas, and they're both very, very happy campers. The Relax Sauna will do miracles. The people who are into the movement of helping to educate those living in this world about the dangers of the COVID shots, of the mRNA shots. Dr. Brian Artist, Dr. Carrie Madej, Dr. Christiane Northrup, Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, Dr. Robert O. Young, Dr. Sandra Michael, Michael Jaco, Robert Scott Bell, Dr. Paul Thomas, Dr. Larry Palevsky, Dr. Judy Mikovits. They've all purchased Relax Saunas from me. And a lot of them are promoting it. I'm being interviewed next week by one of them. I've been interviewed by others. It's very, very exciting to be in the forefront of the industry. We just had a lawyer who works with someone very, very involved in the political arena. Their lawyer just got a Relax Sauna from us last week. She just got it yesterday. We're making inroads to educate the people. Now, for many, many years at these conferences, now incidentally, the far infrared light goes through the sand and resonates with the water in the turtle eggs. Sand does not get hot. The outside gets hot because of the ultraviolet, but the water in the turtle eggs get hot, and that causes the embryo to grow into a turtle. Otherwise, it would not. See, we all know that chickens cheat day on the eggs, but actually, it's not the heat; it's the far infrared light in their body resonating with the water in the eggs that does it. When you have a preemie, they're born and they're in an incubator. Okay. That gives them the far infrared light. And one of my workers many, many years ago said, why did they stop when they reach healthy? They should continue to do it so they can become super healthy. And when people come by the booth, I have 2 things I say to them. I say, number 1, if you have any kind of pain, I guarantee that 50% to 100% of your pain will be gone in 5 to 7 minutes without sweating with your clothes on. I guarantee it. So we're bringing those who have pain, who have, like when you saw the movie The Field of Dreams, everyone said, what's the theme of that? Well, if you build it, they will come. Well, that's true, but the greater theme at the beginning of the movie, ease his pain. And that's what the Relax Sauna, just what the far infrared does. It cleanses every cell of the body like a washing machine has water, and the water from the washing machine cleanses every fiber of the clothes. Every fiber of the clothes is being cleansed by the invisible water that goes through something solid. So the far infrared light goes through our body and resonates with our water molecules and cleanses every cell of our body in the same way. It's like basking in divine love. And that's the second thing I tell people. For those who don't have pain, who feel good, but who want to feel super good, I said, this feels like your grandma's giving you a loving hug. And they say, not my grandma. And I said, the grandma you always wished you had. Because when you talk about babies, you talk about animals, you talk about grandmothers, it gets people's hearts to melt. And that's what we want to do. And when you go into the Relax Sauna, that's exactly what happens. Because when you increase body temperature, remember Hippocrates, our friend, who chimes in when you go into the Relax Sauna. He says, bingo, I just raised your body temperature. You have a fever. Now I can cure you. Well, so you go into the Relax Sauna, and what happens, 5 things happen when you increase body temperature and you have a fever. Number 1, remember the encapsulated gases that are released? Well, it basically, the far infrared energy, when you increase the body temperature, will actually mobilize. It'll get out of hibernation the white blood cells, or will birth them, and the white blood cells is part of the lymphatic system, and they will detoxify the body and get all the junk out, the pesticides, the plastics. Dr. Sherry Rogers in her book says she doesn't know anything that get the plastics out of your body except for far infrared saunas. And you got microplastics, and you have dioxins, which is from chlorine. That can get out of the body, according to Dr. Sherry Rogers, and she goes on and on and on for 250, 300 pages. The book, basically, Detoxify or Die, is all about far infrared saunas, 80% anyway. So what you want to do is you want to, when you increase body temperature, you also increase the circulation and the microcirculation, and therefore it lowers blood pressure, always lowers blood pressure, and it gets rid of the inflammation and hence the pain, and a lot of times it'll get rid of scar tissue. Now, see, stagnant pond, a stagnant pond is a breeding ground for mosquitoes, so stagnant areas of your body are breeding grounds for mold and bacteria. So and we've had incredible results we have a page, relaxsaunas.com/superior, relaxsaunas.com/superior, and we've got about 15 videos, and Paula Schofield from Desert Hot Springs had a wooden sauna, didn't quite do the trick. She got the Relax Sauna about 10, 12 years ago at the Long Beach conference, and her mold toxicity, gone, and she became radiant, and in the picture 3-4 years later, she just is totally radiant. And this is what happens to people, because this is the loving light of the sun. There was a doctor came into the sauna about 4 or 5 years ago, and he said, well, what does this do? I said, it's loving light. He said, well, I'm a doctor. Can you give me a little bit more scientific information? And I went on and on and on. And the next day when he came back, he said, loving light was the best description of it. Because when you feel loved, and so that's what also happens when you increase body temperature. Number 1, you detoxify the body because it mobilizes the lymphatic system. Number 2, increases the circulation, the microcirculation. Number 3, it oxygenates the body. It floods the body with oxygen. That'll kill all the anaerobic bacteria, and it will can also kill parasites. Oxygenating the cells is how your body gets nutrients. So you want to get the gunk out and then oxygenate the cells and let the nutrients come in. If you've got a mercury ion on top of your receptor cell for magnesium, you can't absorb the magnesium. So if we get it out, your body can now absorb nutrients. As a matter of fact, we were at a naturopathic doctor or some kind of nutrition conference, and one of the speakers said, if you have low thyroid, and if you can increase your body temperature 1 degree, you can increase the absorption of nutrients 20%. I was once at a Louise Hay conference, and the lady said, well, I'm a vegetarian, and I just eat some meat, my stomach is really bothering me, I don't want to go in now. I said, no, that's when you do go in, and all her stomach pain went away. People have headaches, they go in. I mean, if you look at the 900 video testimonies, about 100 of them from people who have other saunas, and they just didn't do the trick. The versatility of the Relax Sauna, the fact that it heats up in 30 seconds, oh my God. It's the only sauna that has a treatment for 5 to 7 minutes where you can get rid of 50% or 100% of your pain without sweating. And you can do that 3 or 4 times a day, or just for a power nap. You go in for 5 to 7 minutes. If you want a great sweat, Andrew Huberman and Rhonda Patrick talk about the Finnish saunas. You go to 210 degrees, you sweat for an hour, and you create heat shock proteins. And they say that the wooden infrared saunas that cost $8,000 can't do that. But the Relax Sauna can in 20 minutes, in 25 minutes. They don't know about it yet. It takes a long time. People come by the booth. Well, I have a far infrared $8,000 sauna. That certainly couldn't do what my, big large $8,000 sauna does. Right, and this can't do what a $2,000 desktop computer to do 20 years ago. And, by the way, this has more EMF, 100 times the EMF of any household appliance. And it turns out that Dr. Toshiko Yamasaki says in her book that far infrared actually antidotes the negative effects of EMF. And it also antidotes the negative effects of overexposure of ultraviolet, which is called sunburn pain. I have put about 7-8 people with sunburn pain of a 7 or 8 in the Relax Sauna and got them down to a 1 to a 0. Who would think that you would have sunburn pain and you would want to go into that hot box? It's not hot. It's warm and loving. Big difference. It's not hot. It's light. Those radiators in the Relax Sauna, Carrie, do you want to give all the people those things? The radiators that are made with the semiconductor chips in the Relax Sauna, they generate, what they do is they act as a filter, and they only give you the 7 to 14 micron. Most saunas use ceramic, or they use the carbon panels. Now, if you would ask a sauna company, what part of your sauna is the 7 to 14 micron range, they will say, probably, I don't know. We never measured it. Like when we sent to Harvard, here's the research. We sent to Harvard the Relax Sauna. We sent a $1,200, $1,300 portable sauna pretending to be us, saying they have low EMF and that they're the greatest of the great, and they're way better than the Amazon saunas. And we sent a $300 Amazon sauna to Harvard MIT Department of Health and Technology lab. They came back and said, we sent the Relax Sauna 6 months earlier to Polytechnic University in LA, and they had, for the first 60 minutes in the Relax Sauna, the temperature ranged from 7 to 14 microns exactly, and never outside of that bullseye range for 60 minutes. So we sent it to Harvard. They said the same thing. All the energy is between 7 and 14 microns. So they tested the $1,200, $1,300 sauna. 1.2 to 6 microns was the range. 8% far infrared rate, and none in that magical frequency of between 7 and 14. The Amazon sauna, I was shocked because, they say far infrared saunas will do this, and here's our sauna, our infrared sauna. 0.95 to 1.3 microns. 0% far infrared. It's a near-infrared sauna. And way back in 2017, near-infrared saunas were the range. They said near-infrared will do all this, and even though Dr. Sherry Rogers says far-infrared will do this, no, it doesn't. Near-infrared does it, and far-infrared does. What the heck are you talking about? This is crazy. And then they have the research goes to near-infrared lasers. Well, that's not a near-infrared light bulb, and we did research in 2004 showing that the Relax Sauna little lamp, at 150, which 200 watts now, but the 150 watt lamp penetrated and increased circulation significantly more than a 250 watt Philips near-infrared light bulb. And that was presented at the 2004 phototonic conference in Taiwan in 2004. So in 1998, the Relax Sauna company sent their semiconductor chip, their little lamp, to Pittsburgh for some kind of inventing conference, and they got a gold medal for that. So the Relax Sauna has been around. The company has been around for 42 or 43 years. My company has been around for 44 years. I started in 1980. We started Relax Saunas at Momentum in 2002. And so I've been promoting the Relax Sauna for all those years. But talking about increasing body temperature, and what we do is we talked about oxygenation was the third thing. The fourth thing, and especially the Relax Sauna, more so than any other sauna, it activates the parasympathetic nervous system. And that's magical. Because when you get into the now, where you're conscious, that monkey mind quits doing its thing and just lays low, and and there's no time. When you activate the parasympathetic, you get into no time. there's no pain, because my quasi-definition of pain is the awareness of time. Have you ever hurried? Have you ever worried? Have you ever scurried? Have you ever waited? All those are activities involving time, and they're all very, very painful activities. And we may not even be aware how painful they are, but they are. Just like physical pain, emotional pain and mental pain are also something that the Relax Sauna eases. If you have depression, if you have autism, if you have any kind of anxiety, you get in the Relax Sauna, like the lady last night said, I feel relaxed. I said, do you know why it's called the Relax Sauna? Oh, I think I do. And so we've had, Dr. Klinghardt is a well-known doctor who's promoted the dangers of microwave EMF, and his partner about 6 years ago was at the autism conference. They took a Relax Sauna up to their hotel room, and her elbow pain she'd had for a year, gone. One session of the Relax Sauna. She gave me a testimony after they bought one 3 days later. It's interesting because they have access to 10, 20, 30 different energy medicine kind of machines, light beds, everything, and nothing was able to get rid of her elbow pain, and the Relax Sauna did it. So the Relax Sauna, stands alone as a dynamic energy device. We believe that the inventor, Dr. Chang, and his team of scientists took him from 1987 to 1997 to find a way to create a semiconductor chip that gives you only the healing, loving light between 7 and 14 microns that resonates with your 8-micron vibrating water molecules and with the cells of your body that vibrate at 9.4 microns. Took him 10 years from 1987 to 1997 to do it, and we really believe that he deserves the Nobel Prize. So this is some of the recent research on the Relax Sauna. And it's really, because a lot of doctors, like I said, Rebecca Harder wrote the book Gastrogirl, which is healing the world one person at a time. And she's got all these different, castor oil, rebounders, inversion machines, and many, many other modalities that you can use. And she has 15 pages on saunas, including 7 pages on the Relax Sauna, that book. And for 10 years, she would go by our booth at the colonic shows, and she would just turn the other way. Well, I have an $8,000 wooden sauna. That can't do what, certainly it couldn't. Certainly at that price. Certainly looking as weird as it does, that little pup tent. But, surprisingly enough, after 10 years, she said, well, I've got a few extra minutes. I'll go in 3 minutes, she was sold. And because of that, Hippocrates Health Institute in West Palm Beach, Florida, now promotes the Relax Sauna, has sold many of the Relax Saunas to their people who visit their institute for a week or 2 or 3 weeks at a time. And a lot of them are cancer patients or people with severe problems. I can't think of it. There's a medical spa in Mexico that a lot of times has a booth at these shows. I think it starts with an A, like Aviento or something like that. And they've been promoting the Relax Sauna at their cancer clinic. Baja, Mexico does, and there's a lot of other cancer doctors, including Dr. Bill Akpenar, who wrote the book No Sweat, No Sweat. And he's the one that quotes Dr. Toshika Yamasaki in his book No Sweat, No Sweat, which is a history of saunas. See, way back, before the 60s, wooden saunas, Finnish saunas, the Indian sweat lodges, those could do the trick to detoxify you. But in the 1960s, when all the chemicals, all the pesticides, and God knows what else they put in the air and the water and the fluoride and all that, all this junk has made the world so toxic that they don't do the trick. And whenever a problem comes into this world, on the back of that problem, on the back of that side of the coin is a solution. That's the way this universe works. So basically, the solution to that is the far infrared saunas, and that's why Dr. Sherry Rogers calls it the superior sauna. Now, there's a new book out called Infrared Illuminated by Ariel Callista Miller, and it talks about there's 150 pages of 150 research articles that it annotates it to. In that book, we have it at my booth. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at the booth. And she has been using the Relax Sauna for 2 years, and she puts the Relax Sauna in there as the one that she uses. And I talked to her recently. For the last 2 months, she's been sticking her head in, and she can't believe how her hair is growing. And so there's, and again, we've a lot of people have lost 100 pounds. One lady said, I lost 100 pounds. I weighed 250, and now I'm 150. It took me 2 years. I lost a pound a week for 2 years. There's a lady who helps us at shows in San Francisco area, and she lost about 100 pounds, 70 pounds, 80 pounds. There's a guy in Las Vegas whose mom bought a sauna, and he lost many, many pounds. A lot of people will lose weight. Not everyone, but a lot of people will. Lyme disease, we have 17 testimonies on YouTube from people who don't have symptoms of Lyme. There's a lady here who was at our booth yesterday who is one of the interviewees. She's been helping people, and a lot of her Lyme patients have used the Relax Sauna and have recovery from it. Some partial, some complete. One doctor said that his Lyme literate doctor got his wife to 75% better from Lyme, and then said, you need an infrared sauna. So he bought the Relax Sauna from us, and within a short period of time, she was 95, 97% effective or functionable in this world. So we have testimonies like this, and it just blows me away. One lady said her scar tissue that she'd had for 20 years was gone in 3 weeks. And that usually doesn't happen. I think when I was a kid, we all got smallpox vaccines, or we had that little scar in our, I don't even know what shoulder it was on, but it's not there. So a lot of times, people see, again, the after you the fourth, I talked about when you increase the body temperature and you have the fever and you activate the parasympathetic, the nervous system, then what that does is the mitochondria start creating energy, so you feel revitalized. So 2 weeks ago, I was at an extraordinary technology conference, and this one man got in, and he said, oh my gosh, in 1 minute I can feel the mitochondria in my hand creating energy, in my feet, in my legs, in my body, in my head, in my brain. He said, I've got $4,000 or $5,000 machines that can't do this. So again, when you're, well, I don't know about this. A lot of people, they're medical doctors, they want to see research. Well, I've got a degree in mathematics, and all research begins with data. And you collect data by having observations and having experiences. So I say to these people, go on in, and then when they go in and they say, oh my gosh, and their wife or their husband, is reluctant, I get in, I say, go on in, because this person's going to be raving about it for the next 12 hours. And if you're going for 1 minute or 30 seconds, you'll be able to understand what they're talking about. So it really is a very, very unique experience. The magic of 7 to 14 micron frequency is a fact in itself. It's been, there's a lot of research and more research going on. All saunas, as I talk about, a lot of people, if you go on Amazon, everyone's got a sauna that everyone raves about. And this is wonderful because they're all going to be beneficial. But if you live 5 miles from the grocery store and someone gives you a bicycle, you're going to be so happy. You're going to tell everyone. You're going to be going all over on YouTube saying, man, I got a bicycle and it's so much better than walking. I can't believe how good it is. I recommend everyone get a bicycle. Then he finds out about a motorcycle. Says, oh my gosh, this is way better. Then someone gives him a Chevy Chevette. He said, oh my gosh, I can even take my groceries home. And then someone gives him a Mercedes or the Relax Sauna, and he says, oh my gosh, this is the cat's meow. It's more comfortable. I feel better, and ... So, I've learned to honor. There's so many wonderful things coming out, and, like no matter where you are, there's always something greater, and the poem by Rumi explains this or exemplifies this when he says, I died as a mineral and I became a plant, I rose to animal, and then I became a human, and whatever makes me think I've become less by dying, let me become like an angel in air, let me not exist or in human form or whatever. So you always become greater. So when you let go, and this is related to the book that I'm in the process of publishing, when you let go of a belief, you can free yourself from the limitations of that belief. And a good example of a belief that does not serve you anymore is a ladder that can get you to the third floor of the roof of a building, of a third of 3 floors. What's there waiting for you? A helicopter. Where's it taking you? To your dream destination. And you tell the pilot of the helicopter, hey, wait, I want to take my ladder. My 40-foot ladder. And they said, well, there's going to be a problem. And so you then have to decide whether you let go of your belief or whether you go on and become more free. So, so I encourage you to have an open mind, to have an open heart. That's really actually more important, because when your heart opens, then the mind sort of cracks a little bit and you can see some sunlight. So the magic of light, the invisible light, and you have invisible sound too. They connect you, and you activate the parasympathetic, and you get into your inner knowingness, and you connect with that. And I the other day I sort of realized, oh my gosh, when you listen to your heart or your inner guidance, and some people call that God, that's called God listening. And let's abbreviate, call it G hyphen listening. Let's take the hyphen out. It's called listening. So when you listen to your heart or your inner guidance, or when you listen to God, then you start to glisten. So now you know the derivative of the word glistening. So if you don't get anything from this talk, at least you have something to take home with you. Now, my name is Philip Wilson, and I have a phone number, and I'm still not that famous where I still accept phone calls. I don't screen them, and my phone number is 626-200-8454. And I live in Las Vegas. I've been here for 6 years. I lived in Indiana for 20 years, and in Ohio, in Columbus, Ohio for 50 years. And I've been in Las Vegas for 6 years now. And I've been promoting the Relax Sauna for 22 years. I've used it almost every day, every morning for 20 minutes. And when I have time, I'll get out, drink some water, and then do another 20 minutes. And then on spa day for Phil, I'll do it a third time for 20 minutes. I feel like I've been at the spa for 9 hours. It really, really is a wonderful experience. But again, the 5 to 7 minute experiences with your clothes on and not sweating, or just starting to get a little budding, you will feel great. And so I've been in the Relax Sauna about 8,000 times already, and it's one of the loves of my life. I don't limit the loves of my life. It's something that and many people are they're saunites. I call them saunites, lovers of the saunas. And I put someone in yesterday, like I said, who's been loving saunas, and they go in and say, this is special. And that's what I want to get across. The Relax Sauna is actually a $20,000 sauna. It's worth that much. It's priceless. And it's 3 times more powerful than almost any other sauna. But we sell it for $2,000 online. Well, that's the suggested retail right now. In 2024, we're selling it for $1,500 online for the cellular model. The black tent model, which is just a glorified greater tent, same radiator, sells for $2,100. The prices are probably going up $150, $200 at the beginning of January 2025. So it's a warning, so get it now. And people come back a year later after saying, gee, I wished I bought it last year. I said, yeah, you lost $18,000 worth of services because it's worth $50 a day, and there's 360 days in a year. If you multiply $50, that's $18,000 worth of services you lost. And if you're married, that's $36,000 worth of services you lost. So I'm trying to do you a favor. I'm saying, get it now. You'll be grateful. We do payment plans if we have to. We want to get these in as many homes as possible. And when we sell to a lot of the doctors, a lot of the health professionals, this is our marketing. A lot of the health professionals or influencers will then start selling the Relax Sauna to their patients. They let them try it for 7 to 10 minutes, or they'll do a 25-minute sweat in their office they'll charge about $50, give or take $10 or so for a 25-minute session. And then after people do like 2 sessions a week for 2 or 3 weeks, they say, why don't I just buy one from you? So we drop ship to them, we send it to them, or we can give them a discount code and they can give it to and a link, and they can give it to they can do their email it. And a lot of people will do, I've been interviewed about 20, 30 times already. A green smoothie girl actually sold 300 saunas in 3 weeks interviewing me. But we've had 2 or 3 other people, about 4 or 5 other people sell 100 or more saunas by interviewing me. And we have about a dozen or 2 that sold 20 to 40 saunas. Again, when you have the audience and you explain to them why the Relax Sauna is special, even without experiencing it. But when we do these shows, a lot of times we'll sell 10, 20. We usually sell about 20 saunas at this show every year. The last couple of years we haven't because everyone already has one, but we're coming out with more information, educating you, and so this year it looks like we'll probably sell that many. And again, we want to encourage you to experience the Relax Sauna. Our new slogan is experience the difference, feel the momentum, which is in line with, when I was meditating 27 years ago, and they said, momentum, and it's like a little ping pong ball or lottery ball coming out of a volcano that I was looking at, or a serpent mound, and all of a sudden I said, oh, and then they said, taking advantage of the moment, and I said, I never realized momentum came from the word moment. And I'm still, so like the beef, the Wendy's, the beef commercial, well, where's the beef? Something is still missing. And then all of a sudden, when I said that, they said, propelling yourself into greatness. And so that's why when you're living in the moment, but not just living in the moment, taking advantage of the moment because you're listening. When you're listening, that wave is there, and you get right in front of the wave, and it propels you into greatness. And that's what we want. We want to experience greatness. And to experience our destiny, and our destiny is far greater than we can ever imagine with our minds, because the mind is very limited as a tool that we use, just like the feelings or emotional body, just like our physical body. And you put clothes on it, and then you get into a car, but you are an eternal being of light, or just an atom, a unit of awareness. You are like Jonathan Livingston Seagull. You are limitless. You are you're a point in mathematics. You're a point here. You're just a unit of awareness. You can be clothed in light. You're a light being. You're a far infrared light being, as I said. Daniel Brinkley, a good friend of mine, he says, he's had 4 near-death experiences. He said, we are spiritual light beings, yes, and we are also far infrared light beings. And that's why the far infrared energy between 7 and 14 microns resonates with our water molecules, and that's the special magical frequency. So if you're interested in buying any sauna, you ask them, well, how much of the active ingredient, how much of the actually energy, the far infrared energy that actually resonates with my cells in my body do you have? And a lot of times they can't tell you. When you buy a turmeric product, you want to know how much curcumin it is. The more curcumin is the active ingredient, the more profound it's going to be and effective to get rid of pain and all the other things that turmeric does for you. So, we're really proud to present the Relax Sauna, talk about the magic of the 7 to 14 micron. Sherry Rogers says it's 4 to 14 micron, and that our bodies itself emit 9.4 microns, 3 to 50, but mainly 9.4 microns. And so this is information out there, but people haven't zeroed in on it because of all the marketing ploys. Well, we have red light. The guy who wrote the red light book, it's a great book. He talks about red light and near infrared all the time. So Dr. Stubbins from Philadelphia gave me, he assayed it and said, all those things are true about red and near, but the guy doesn't mention that far infrared can do all that plus way, way, way more, because we vibrate the water molecules and increase the body temperature and fulfill the dream of Hippocrates. So anytime you hear something great about red and near, that's true. Near penetrates 1 to 2 millimeters. The lasers can penetrate 9 inches, but that's a specific frequency. But the range of near infrared penetrates 1 to 2 millimeters, and the Relax, or the far infrared penetrates 1 3/4 to 2 inches, which is 40 to 50 millimeters, 20 times as far. And the beautiful part about it is when your cells talk to each other. So when you go out into the sun when the sun is really hot, you close your eyes, you're in your clothes, and you feel to the core of your bone that incredible, oh my God, I feel so good. You want to die, you feel so good. Okay, even when it's cold out, you close your eyes and you feel that hot sun, and that penetrates, and it goes through the whole bone. It goes 4 or 5, if I'm 250 pounds, it'll go 12 inches into your body. Me, it only goes about 8 inches, but it goes to the core, it goes to the bone, and magic happens. So far infrared light is part of the frequency of the medicine of the future, and educate yourself more, read books on it, and we are coming out with more and more. We're rebranding, coming out. We have a new logo that we just came out with. It's sort of like half being presented, and we're presenting the research we have, along with the thousands of testimonials. So again, my email is phil@relaxsaunas.com. Our website is relaxsaunas.com, and that has an S in it, relaxsaunasplural.com. And the relaxsaunas.com superior has more information on it. Go there and call me up, email me, ask me questions, and I'm delighted that all of you were so receptive to everything that I said. I don't know everything, but a lot of the stuff that I said, and I really appreciate your attentiveness, and I'm actually going to entertain questions now. Does anyone have a question? Yes, sir.
How hot does it actually get in this?
Thank you. I forgot to mention that. See, the versatility and the convenience of the Relax Sauna is itself one of the great features. It's the only portable sauna that you can actually put in a suitcase. If you get not the 19-inch, 28-inch suitcases, but the 21-inch Samsonite, and a lot of the companies have it. The chair will actually fit in there, and the tent goes into a carrying case, and the radiator goes into, and you can travel with it very, very easily. Now the temperature initially, it's about 130, 140, 145 degrees it gets in about 3 to 5 to 7 minutes. There is the semiconductor chip is temperature controlled, so we don't have a temperature gauge. We don't set it at a temperature. We just have a timer. We have a 30-minute timer, and usually in 20 minutes you're finished. But it can get up to 169 degrees, and some said it can even get up to 170, 175, and that is pretty much too hot for most people. But we have a digital, sophisticated temperature-controlled device that's magical. It's called a zipper. And so if you get too hot, you just unzip the zipper 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 16 inches or 20 inches to the knees. And a lot of people, like a lot of times, I'll have the whole tent, up to my ankles, and after 25 minutes, I'll start sweating. I'll be meditating in it or whatever, or I'll just be, playing with my cell phone. Now, again, the far infrared will antidote the negative effects of EMF caused by cell phones. And in San Diego, electric company presented all these electrical appliances and how much EMF has. The Relax Sauna has the 3rd and 7th lowest of the 21 most common household appliances. And then that Harvard study, we had 1/10 the EMF of that low EMF $1,200 sauna. Now were low EMF because they had 1/15 the EMF of the Amazon sauna. But again, the cell phone is way, way worse in the EMF, and so is the Wi-Fi in this building if you don't have a cell phone. Now, the Harvard MIT study also told us the power intensity, penetration intensity of the Relax Sauna was 3.5 times that of the $1,200 sauna. 3.5 times, way more than 3.5 times effective, but the penetration intensity was 3.5 times of the $1,200 sauna and 4.5 times the intensity of the Amazon sauna, which means the $1,200 sauna is just a tad better than the $300 Amazon sauna, but the Relax Sauna shined way, way, way more. I mean, it's like the Harvard study just blew Dr. Stubbins away with the results that the research says, because we've been saying this for years and years and years, and people said, oh, I have this other sauna, I have this other sauna. And, but when you go and experience the Relax Sauna, and we have so many people who are sauna enthusiasts, been using saunas. One person, we were at I forget, a conference about 4 or 5 years ago in Florida, and we took the sauna up to his hotel room, and he tested and said, I've tested 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 different kind of herbal products and other devices, and none of them are even, 1/10 of the power of this Relax Sauna for what it does to the body. So that's any other questions? Okay, so the versatility of the Relax Sauna, like I talked about, the temperature. It's not so much the outside temperature. It's not the heat. It's the light resonating with the water molecule that increases the body temperature. That's the therapy. So but it does get hot, and it can get as hot as you want. And the purpose of the heat, which is a byproduct, every computer has a fan, and the fan blows the heat off of the computer chip so that the computer will not go out. And that's why we need a fan to blow the heat off, and that's the byproduct. But it works great with the healing resonating light that warms your body temperature, and the outside temperature is cozy and gives you that marshmallow kind of feeling, the warm hug from the grandma. And so it's a beautiful combination that's sort of like, I would say accidentally happened, but it makes the Relax Sauna a very, very wonderful experience. And I thank you so much for listening to me and putting up with me. So thank you.
Thank you.